The Connection Show. Inspiring. Hope. Health. Healing. Sponsored by Brave Heart Workshops. Live with Jill Reynolds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our page. Share it. Subscribe to it now and click the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming shows.
The Connection Show, inspiring hope, health, and healing, sponsored by Braveheart Workshops, live with Jill Reynolds. And joining me today is my wonderful friend from Branson, Deborah Watson. Welcome, Deborah.
Hey, how are you?
I am fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I am so excited, you guys, to have Deborah on the show because I want you to know a little bit about her and you'll be blown away. So let me tell you just a bit about Deborah. She is an innovative leader in the digital technology and media industry. Her leadership skills began when she was only 12 years old, and she served on leadership teams at church and on the state level at the Kansas State Leadership Board for the American Baptist Guild Girls. She has had an onstage presence with many different theatrical shows, and she's launched Faith Walkers International, which is a non-for-profit organization designed to train, inspire, and empower teen girls. She has so much more about her, but I don't want to read the whole bio because it'll take the excitement away. Because the one thing that she is doing that is spectacular is this backdrop you see is the Branson International Film Festival. So I'll have her full bio on the screen at the end. But for now, we want to learn more about Deborah talking on the show. So with that, Deborah, one of the things we love on the Connection Show, we love to go deeper into our guests' lives. And so we love to connect the dots of our speakers and our guests. We like to connect the dots of your childhood, Deborah, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how that childhood led you into the amazing woman of God you are today. So if you wouldn't mind, would you take us back to little Deborah? I don't know if you were called Deborah back then or Deb or Debbie, but take us back to your little girl and share with us a little bit about how you were raised and what life was like for you.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I was raised in Kansas, a country girl. My dad was an American Baptist pastor. My mom was a teacher. And I was trained up in an environment where children are to be seen and not heard. And so I have all this pent up energy that as an adult, I get to use now. So I definitely have a gift for gab. But with a teacher and a pastor as parents, it kind of comes to me naturally. And Jill, thank you, because at 8 years old is when we got our first color television. And I was so excited. Of course, I was enthralled with this new technology in front of me. And my mom and I got to sit down and watch the Miss America pageant. And I was just like seeing those great, big, huge, giant cameras, kind of like what's behind us, moving around, and the pomp and circumstance and the costumes that represented their countries just inspired me because, you know, I was in a town of 3,500 people. We didn't see that visually.
Wow.
And I was like, Mom, I want to do that when I grow up. And my mom, who was a size 2 when she got married, looked at me with love in her eyes and said, honey, I love you enough as your mother to tell you, you will never, ever, ever be able to do that. From her point of view, she thought I wanted to be the Miss America walking down the aisle. I had no desire to do that. That was not even in my wheelhouse. I'm definitely kind of a workhorse kind of girl. But at 8, where I trusted my mother's insight, I was like, oh, I can't ever do that. But as you noticed in my bio, they kept me plugged into stage productions and kept me involved in choir and music. And I played clarinet for a while. So they allowed me to get my feet wet in all these different arenas. And I didn't realize until I was in my 30s that that was preparing me for what I'm doing today. And so sometimes that little girl that's still locked up inside of me that gets to come out and play on days like today with people like you just really brings a great joy to me, because at that tender age of 8, when there was an opportunity for me to just give up completely and just go into business management and not even follow that desire and gifting that God gave me, could have easily died and gone away and never existed.
Mm. That's so beautiful, Deborah. Thank you for your vulnerability, because there's many of us who have had that burden placed on us that we're not good enough. We're not enough, and or that that part of us, even that then sometimes when we grow up to be perfectionists, because we're constantly seeking the ability to be good enough. Now, I have a question to ask. I'm really kind of surprised, and I was raised Catholic growing up. And so I'm really surprised having a Baptist pastor dad that they allowed you to watch movies back then. Yeah, like that one, when you said that, I'm like, oh, wow, this is like interesting. I usually the Baptists don't let is that right, or am I wrong?
No, you're correct. So, like for him, to be found outside the movie theater houses as a teenager, or even in college, like in college when him and mom were dating, they were not allowed to sit any closer than 6 inches from one another. And my mom is German by nature, and I love her to pieces. But she has that rebel spirit of, hey, why can't I do this? What are those things? Like she would push the envelope just a little bit. But that pushing of that envelope just a little bit, and my dad's love for her and watching that ebb and flow between one another, that's what brought change. In fact, my father in our community, because I'm sure you saw it even from the Catholic perspective, you kind of stayed in your own little bubble, and the Baptists stayed in their bubble, the Catholics stayed in theirs. And my dad helped establish the Ministerial Alliance in our community, where all the pastors from all the different denominations came together once a month, prayed with each other, had coffee and donuts at the local donut shop, and prayed for our communities and our and he really was an advocate for standing together in unity as a community. And that's why I feel I excel in the industry that I'm in right now, is because that burden in my heart for the Christian community to stand together in an industry where competition is very high, trying to get to, who's going to get the Oscar, who's going to get the awards, fame and fortune's not in my heart, but doing things perfectly or doing things well with excellence, that is very much in my heart, and why we started the festival. So that way we can tell people, hey, you did an amazing job on your film, keep going. Or, hey, you did really good, but you might want to look at this, or this, and it'll make you even better, so they can grow and become strong influencers in the industry.
That is so beautiful, because, you just exuberate unity. I mean, I just met you in the last several months, and I just feel that in your heart, because I'm an event planner, you're an event planner, and there never was this feeling like, Jill, there's no room for you because I have, like I got this. And there was always this invitation of let's make this even bigger and better for the world, not for ourselves. And so you were always so just inviting of me, which I loved, because my heart was, I just wanted to be inviting for you to serve you too. And so when we can come together as sisters or brothers in Christ and serve each other, and because we don't all have the same lane, like God's given us each lanes, and so if we each take the lanes, what a beautiful road it's going to come to, and come together in a circle. And you just exuberate that. I love it about you. And even going back to your dad, it sounds to me like he just had a heart of breaking through legalism.
Yes, That's a good way of putting it.
Yes, that's beautiful because so many pastors that I've seen are stuck so much in the legalism that they miss grace. When they miss grace, they don't have that pure, you know, uh, create in me a pure heart, O Lord, like yours. And God's pure heart is that of love and unity, not division and legalistic stuff.
Yes, I 100% agree. I tell you, the world beats us up. And to be honest, I'm probably my own worst critic because I've got a very creative imagination and I'm very critical of my own work. And so, in this kind of industry and environment and life, we don't need to be critical of one another, but constructive criticism that brings excellence. In fact, you and I just went through that earlier today. That's when you see something very beautiful and borderline magical that happens that you don't see in other festivals because there's a lot of that competition is there of somebody always trying to one up the other person. And that's the people that come to the festival, they're of that same thread as well. And so it's almost like we're weaving this tapestry together that no eye can really truly see the beauty of what's happening on the global scale because of the seeds that are planted and that actually are reaping a harvest within a year in other countries. And so that's one reason why I'm glad we're able to go from 2D to 3D and 5D for our virtual world. And thanks to you, I've got such great developers to help us make that happen.
Well, I'd like to pause for just a second and show the audience this flyer. So this is the flyer of what we've been talking about, the Branson International Film Festival, which is going to be in Branson, Missouri, April 21st to 23rd. It's hosted at the Copeland Theater, which is here in Branson, and there's going to be amazing people there, and there's tickets that just went on sale recently, and they're going to go very fast. And the website is bransonfilmfestival.com. And so I'd like to come back on, and would you share with the audience what came about in your heart? You shared a bit, but what came about to create this event more deeply and share more what this event is and who's going to be there so that people that are living in Branson and from out of state will come to this event. The one thing that drew me to it that I can tell you, Deborah, is I'm one of those people. I started to share with you a little earlier. My sister knew every movie star. She could memorize, like this star was in this movie. And I was one of those. I could never play a trivia game and get it right. But the one person who I always felt connected to in his films was Kevin Sorbo. There was just a connection I had in my heart with the movies he was in and his persona. And when I heard he was going to be there, I was like, wow, this is like going to be a really cool event. So can you tell us more about it in your heartbeat?
Oh, sure. So one of the things that happened, so before Kevin came on board, in fact, before COVID, it was our second year film festival. I was like, Lord, I really need some champions because I'm new in the industry. I wasn't born and bred in it. And so I really need some champions to help me like spur forward and do it really well. And when I prayed within 48 hours, God not only sent me one, he sent me two. And I said, of course, wouldn't the Lord send me Hercules? But it was because of the film festival that it happened. And J.P. Johnston, he did The Reliant, which is the Second Amendment film. It's already out in DVD. Phenomenal. It's been on Netflix, won, I think, 25 different awards. And JP is known as Doc Johnston because he is actually a physician. And he was inspired to write this story. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, would Kevin even be interested in being a champion for me to help produce not too far from here that deals with domestic violence through a teenage girl's eyes? And he said, well, why don't you send it over to me? I'll send it on. And that's the kind of connectivity, because I was shocked within 24 hours that Kevin replied back and said, hey, shoot me over the full script. I'm going to be flying this next weekend and I'd like to take a look at it. And as you know, once we get funding, this September, we're going to be able to film in Oklahoma. And because of Cherokee Nation's tax incentives that they're doing, we're going to be able to get almost 48% of our money spent back within 6 months of production. Mm-hmm. And so it's the film festival that caused that to happen. And I watched it happen for G. Michael Nicolosi, an animator out of Arkansas, was able to connect with Debbie Bonds on an animator out in Arizona. And then Amy McCorkle from Kentucky got 2 distribution deals with Joshua Carpenter from Green Apple Entertainment. So even though we have Kevin Sorbo, and my other champion that came forward is Cameron Arnett, who was the dad in the Kendrick Brothers film Overcomer. And he's out of Atlanta, and he's going to be working with me on one called Under the Acacia Tree. Those are the kind of things that happen for people that are wanting to work in the industry. Now, for people that aren't in the industry and they just love to watch good movies, we literally have something for everyone. And one of my favorite ones is called Lola's Lion. Samaritan's Purse created it, and it tells the story of this little lion that gets put into one of the Christmas shoe boxes and goes to an orphanage, and what happens as Lola, I just got goosebumps, as Lola discovers her lion. And Up to the Reliant is going to be screened. We're going to be screening Let There Be Light. Kevin Sorbo's wife, Sam, wrote it. They produced it together. And then there's, Vincent's Vow. That's one that a local producer and director did. Ducon Williams is going to be there. And there's a documentary. If anybody has a loved one that's serving jail time, it's called First Week Out. And this gentleman served 42 years. And they follow his life the first week out as, can you imagine going to jail in the 70s and then all of a sudden stepping in the world today?
Wow.
So there's a lot of really great content. All of it's family friendly. Anything that had profanity, sexual content, or nudity was not allowed to be screened. And so anybody can come and feel safe about coming and watching it.
What age would you recommend? Because you don't want little kids running around and I would envision in disrupting the event as far as, crying and talk. So tell me like an approximate age, like 15, 16, or what age group would you say this would best serve?
Sure. So we've had kids 10 years old and up that have come. In fact, Gideon Shout, which is a dance company out of Lake of the Ozarks, she's doing something special where she's training them up for one of our red carpet event productions. And she wants kids 12 and older to be part of this flag worship team. And they're doing a routine for King and Country song, Amen. And so there are some families that are coming Saturday morning. Remember Saturday morning cartoons? We have the children's films slotted specifically for Saturday morning. So some people can go and watch and listen to Kevin and Sam Sorbo speak on their book called True Faith while their children are watching the children's films. And just to be transparent, there is a film there. This is the second year. We have a 9-year-old animator that did something called stop motion, where she actually colored all the pictures. She does the voiceovers. She's the storyteller, and her name is Anastasia Shinkarenko. And I got to speak to her mother via email a couple of weeks back, just to kind of check in on them to make sure they were safe because they live outside of Kiev. And it was the day before Kiev was bombed when I heard from them last. And my prayer is, and if you guys could join us in this as well, my prayer is Anastasia's heart for her stories that are always good, triumphing over evil, because that's what her stories are, is not tainted from the war, but strengthened because of it, because she's going to have a renewed perception now because she's 11 now. So her vision of her world around her just radically changed, but her heart inside of her is still so pure and loving. And I can't wait for the day when her and her mother can actually come to America to the festival or come via the virtual world that we're building.
Well, we'll definitely pray them up and for safety and everything. Thank you for sharing that. So tell us a little bit about, I know you have, and I'm one of those, so you'll be helping me as well because we
Okay.
both have been busy and I haven't had a chance to talk to you personally about this. So tell us the different levels of admission tickets, like what there's one for this, one for that, and after a while I got a little confused. So help the audience, let's break it down of different ways they can attend at what price ranges.
Sure. So most of our quality films, you could say they're all quality at some level because we had 213 submissions and everything got narrowed down to, I think there's 91. So the ones that we know people are going to walk away inspired one way or another show between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. So on Thursday and Friday, the cheapest ticket out there, it's $15 and you can get 6 hours worth of films, or you can come watch one, go next door to Scooters, grab a burger, and come back, watch another one. You can come and go as you please. We do also have a local pass. Now, here in Branson, for those that live here, local pass are already thinking of the counties because the locals that live here serve here. And it gets expensive to try and participate in everything. So we decided, because the locals can get in for a third of the cost. And so it's $50 for all 3 days. And it includes the state of Missouri, the state of Oklahoma, and the state of Arkansas. So when you go to order your local pass, as long as you say you're from those states, you get in for all 3 days for $50. Now, it does not include Saturday's award ceremony and after party. We've discovered over the years, usually people that come to watch movies aren't really interested in that aspect anyway. And since we're giving them such a huge discount, and the award ceremony and the after party is one of our largest expenses, we thought that was the fairest way to go. And we've got a student pass in there. Probably one of my favorite ones is the actor's voice. We've all watched The Voice. Well, I'm assuming we've all watched The Voice, but we've given them anybody that comes in and auditions, they bring a 30 to 60 second monologue. They're going to be auditioning in front of casting director. There's Tina Gallo, who is out of Nashville, Tennessee. Jonna Bowles is from Springfield, and Shannon Went is from Joplin. At the Physical Festival, and they get to potentially be chosen to be on teams to actually act out some scenes from some of the scripts that were submitted to the festival and perform live on stage on Friday. So if anybody's into theater or thought about doing theater, it would fit your wheelhouse really well.
Now, how much is that to be in that?
Yeah, they'll want to get either the actor's voice or the local pass because it's going to give them access to all 3 days as well.
So would that be the $50? Is that what that price would be? So they'd be able to possibly be on stage and do their 30-second, and they'd get in for the 3 days to the event. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
You know, I just might bring my little granddaughter. I'm telling you, she's 8 years old, and she blows my mind away, Deborah. She literally at 4 memorized all the presidents of the United States in order. And then one day her daddy was reading her the Bible and the Samson story. And he was reading the first page, and all of a sudden she just chirped in and started saying it out loud. And he goes, and he filmed it. He said, "Addie, how do you know the story?" He goes, "I've been memorizing." And she didn't even know how to read a book. And she had 8 pages memorized. But then when she came to Branson and I took her to the Sight and Sound to see Samson, she said, "Grandma, how long is the play?" And I said, "Oh, about 2 hours." She goes, 2 hours? I can get it done in 8 minutes.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
And then she's a stitch. She'll love her, Deborah. And then her mother took her to, and they live in St. Louis, to see The Sound of Music. And they walk in, and my daughter-in-law says, "Addie, do you know where we are?" And she looked around and saw the sign. She goes, "Are we at The Sound of Music?" And her mom said, "Yeah." And she goes, oh, good. Do I get to perform? And her mom says,
Oh,
she goes, her mom says, no, we're going to watch it. And she goes, why do I have to watch it? I know all the songs. I could get up there and do the whole show.
my
so,
goodness,
so
yes.
she would have a stitch doing this.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, and you're an author, correct? You've got a couple books that you've done.
I've been in one book. It's a
Okay.
collaborative book called Fiercely Faithful, and it's
Ooh.
based off of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being thrown into the fiery furnace and coming out not smelling like smoke. And so my
Wow.
chapter is called The Essence of Humility. And I'll give you a book. It's phenomenal, and I'll bring those with because I was just at an event this weekend and shared that story with some of the people, and it's definitely got inspired. But so going back, this is my favorite one, is the
Yeah.
VIP tickets. Are there still
Yes.
VIP tickets left?
So, okay. So the VIP tickets, it's $150, but it gets you a free vendor table. Technically, we only have space for two, but I'm going to go down and see if there's a way we can kind of finagle in a couple, two or three more. Now, we do have tons of space like outside under the awning, but at the end of April in Branson, the weather could be a little questionable. We're not sure, but we're going to try and be able to squeeze in at least five more. And most film festivals, like if you were to go to the Orlando International Christian Film Festival and get a table, it's $500 for 3 days. And so ours, you can still buy vendor table space at $300. But we decided to celebrate our 5th-year anniversary. We wanted to extend a discount to anybody that bought our all access pass and give you guys a free vendor table to be able to get it for 50% off basically.
Now,
And
let me
right.
ask a question for just a moment. So let's say um, the everyday person that doesn't have books or things they want to have a vendor table. Is there another price? And if not, maybe we should talk about that. Is there another price, say, I'm going to just like $100 or 99 that doesn't require a vendor table, but they can still have all access to everything, like all access to the meter grid, whatever. Tell me more
Yeah.
about that pass to see if there's one level without the table.
Nope. So, in fact, we have some of our filmmakers that bought the all access pass for the $150 that they don't want a table because they're still in the process of growing, and they get all access to absolutely everything, including the award ceremony and the after party. So we're not going to be doing any discounts on that ticket price because we're gifting the tables those that want it. So
Okay.
that's firm price point. It's just that the table has been a gift to those that would like to have it. So
Okay, so we have $150 for this amazing VIP pass. We have $50 for an all 3-day pass. We have $15 if you just want to watch the films for like 6 hours.
Yep.
And we have a student pass. What was the student pass? What was the
I believe it's 30.
30-ish? Okay.
Oh,
And
look, yeah.
is that for the 3-day all access?
It is. They just need to bring their student ID with them. Yes.
Okay. And there was another one. Wasn't there a special price or for viewing just Kevin Sorbo's upcoming movies and meeting him?
Yes.
What was that one?
So we have two different ones. We have Friday, which is all day long. We have Doc Johnston is going to be there. Kevin Sorbo's going to be there. I'm hearing some rumors. So please, you guys, that's all they are is rumors that there's going to be some other members from the Reliance film coming. I don't know if it's Brian Bosworth. I don't know if it's Molly Gray. I just know that Doc Johnston has told everybody, hey, we're going to be at Branson Film Festival. Let's go. And so that is at the gates. If somebody shows up Friday morning and says, hey, I'm here to buy a ticket just for today to hang out with Kevin and Doc Johnston and watch some of these films, it's going to be $100 at the gate. Okay. So if you buy it in advance, that ticket price is only $40.
Wow.
So that's going to be available up until probably about April 15th-ish. Now, here's the catch, and thank you for doing this, because I'm going to be in a show on Color 10 called The Best of Branson, and it airs at the end of March. Okay. That's going to be on 6 different stations. And once this information gets out here locally a little bit broader, those tickets are going to go super, super fast. So for them to get them while they're on your show, like if they hear it, they're going to have access faster. So don't procrastinate. I know a lot of people have a tendency to do that because some people don't even know what they're doing tomorrow, let alone 6 weeks from now, right?
Yeah. So help me out on this, because this is where, and I think what I'm going to do with you when we get done, we're going to type something out with these levels like this, because I think what happens is you get confused a bit. So let me ask this. So if someone wants to do the Friday event, what time does that start and what time does that end approximately?
Sure. Doors open at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And the event starts at 9 and runs till 10 p.m.
Okay, so stop on that. So that's the Kevin Sorbo special film and the event. But your event starts on what, Thursday, the 21st?
Correct.
And the 22nd and 23rd. So where I have a little bit of a disconnect is the person buying the $50 all access. So do they get into that event with Kevin too for that one?
Yes.
And the VIP people get in for that too. So if there's a person who really doesn't care about going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because a lot of people in Branson work many days and they only have one day off, and they really want to connect with Kevin Sorbo and Sam and the other people, they would only have to spend $40 to come to that event to connect with that group of people. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
Yes, that's correct. And there is also, because you're right, people work Monday through Friday, Saturday morning, Kevin and Sam are going to be in the main theater talking about their book, True Faith, and doing a meet and greet as well. And so that's going to be $100 at the gate as well. We have 60% off, so it'll be $40 until March 15th, but then the tickets will be half off until the end of March. So March 16th to March 30th, you can get in Saturday for $50. So even if they want to buy the local pass, if they're from Missouri, Oklahoma, or Arkansas for $50 for all 3 days and only show up Friday, Saturday, they're only paying $50, where if they bought the Friday pass and the Saturday pass would be $90. So that is like a steal right then and there.
Well, and then is it okay? I should ask this to make sure. So let's say somebody wants to come for Friday for a few hours and then come back on Sunday. Okay, let's just say that. And they buy the $50 all access. Can they can they take their pass and give it to their family member to come, like, because it's their pass, but if they know they can't come on Saturday, can they let a family member use their pass?
Absolutely, because the dollar amount is attached to the wristband. So if they're not going to be there Saturday and they have to go home, by all means, share. We would love to, the more the merrier.
Okay.
And sometimes I may say, don't tell Peggy, because I have a tendency to give away too much.
I'll keep you in line, because I'm like Peggy. I keep the budget manageable. And you guys, we have to have a budget, because you got to remember, as lovely as Deborah is in her heart of gold, she still has to pay expenses. So keep that in mind. So
yes, and airfare.
Yeah, airfare, but the cost of the theater and the food, there's so much that goes into this that you don't understand. So doing that, and then there's one more we didn't talk about. How about those who can't come to Branson? Let's get
our virtual. Oh my goodness.
Talk about that.
Okay, you guys, I'm so super excited about this. Like in fact, Josh Carpenter, when I talked to him about it, he's like, Deborah, do you understand most Christians are 10 years behind the times? And you're in the Midwest, so that puts you about 12 years behind the times. But you're literally like right on the threshold and forward thinking. I was like, I know, my brain is just, okay. So our virtual, most people are saying, I can't come physically. Not most people. The ones that are saying, I can't come physically, but I'm going to come to your virtual one. When COVID hit, it was 4 weeks before festival. And so we went virtual to Zoom because we were just going to blaze ahead. We weren't going to let COVID stop us. and we didn't know what we were doing. So we just gave everything away for free. And we learned how much Zoom does not work for showing films. So the next year we partnered up with with Saltflix, and he showed our full features on his platform for free for us to be because he's got a huge servant heart. James Alfred, he's a pastor as well. And it worked, but some of the technology from other people's computers had some issues. And I was like, there's got to be a better way, Lord. What is it? And that's when I encountered you, who introduced me to Rhino XR Studios. And so I want to make something really super clear about the metaverse, okay? And VR headsets and goggles. I grew up on do you remember those little viewfinders for Disney?
And you'd look at mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's really all the VR headsets are. And the word meta is actually found in the Bible, and it means dead, right? So who would go to a dead place? Hello, Jesus went there. He's all about
the dead seas.
Yeah, he's all about resurrecting dead things. He's all about that. But people have never heard the word meta, even though it's been around since 1990s, unless they were programmers for the internet. So when they were creating the internet, behind the scenes, developers were using the word meta for the digitalization of the work that they were doing. Now that they've got it up and running and it's secure, it's been exposed by Mr. Zuckerberg through Facebook because he created the meta. And so when you go into some of the spaces where the virtual worlds are, there's a lot of junk out there.
It's not safe at all in many of them, because you don't know what room you're going to go into.
Yes. And so the guys over at Rhino are very acutely aware of that and have helped us put up some cybersecurity to protect people's information too. Like, we're not going to be selling out people's information unless we say, hey, Jill over here would like for you to be on her podcast. You're going to have to reveal your email address. So it puts all the control and everything back on our customers. Mm-hmm. And so because it's new for me, and I honestly don't know how it'll work fully, people can buy a ticket for $300. It gives them access to this VR world for an entire year.
Wow.
And I'm actually going to be renting out the space to other events, other film festival people. I can tell you there are some big named people that are authors that have writers guilds that want to explore using the space to be able to teach people how to write their stories. And my guests will be able to have access to that. They may have to pay a little bit extra for when those classes start, but because they're grandfathered in, because they bought into our event, they get like a major discount by being a part of that. So we're super excited, not just because we're introducing people to the VR world, because I mean, like you were saying, my 3-year-old grandson, he knows how to cast his game from his iPad to his TV. And I'm like, how did you do that? And he showed.
My grandkids 5 and up, they know how to turn on the TV and pull up a Netflix, and I don't even know how to do that. So that's a whole nother thing. Robert will tell you, I'm a slow learner when it comes to that, which comes to the next question. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm 68, Deborah. Yes. And so I'm a slow learner. Okay. With technology. I'm one of those, I have to see it, touch it, feel it, and show it. So my idea is this, and we'll talk off screen, but we'll talk to the audience now, is I think if you register now, so I would immediately subscribe to the virtual universe that Deborah's creating for $300 for an entire year. Subscribe. And let's do this, Deborah, unless you can't. Let's ask people, let's have a link to subscribe now. But your subscription will not start until the day of the event. So like if you register today, which today is March 6th and the event's April 21st,
yes,
you'll have a subscription that will begin the day of the thing. So it'll go April 21st till April 21st of next year. But what we'll do is we'll send you Zoom links, or not Zoom links, but Metaverse. We'll send you links to come in on a couple of events to be able to explore the world so that you are trained and know how to get around the world with ease instead of waiting till the day of the event. So you can
Yes.
come in and you'll be our guests and we'll train you and we'll show you like the best headphones or whatever that you, because those are, I think they're about $100 or $150. Are they not the?
Oh, so the nice ones that will work perfectly is the Oculus Quest ones, and they're about $299. But you can do it three-dimensional, not even have the goggles, which is probably how I'll be doing it.
Okay.
Because I have this thing about stuff really close to my eyes. So, but you can still have the experience. And I tell you, Jill, because we live in Branson, my parents are in Kansas. I have family in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have friends over in Athens, Greece, and Paris, France. But the cool thing is we actually have a movie cinema in this space. So my friends and family can come in and sit down next to my avatar, and we can actually enjoy a movie together, which I am so excited about being able to offer.
And you can get up and go have a box of popcorn, like and this is what's cool too, you guys. They're going to create a room that will be a merchandise room. And you can go in the merchandise room and buy your favorite filmmakers, screenwriters, t-shirts or books or whatever it is you want to purchase separately. So if, I mean, as you know, you go on and you say, oh, I want to get this shirt, I want to get that, because let's hypothetically say that, and I don't even know if they will, but let's say Kevin and Sam have a table set up with new merchandise. And you're going to the event in Branson and you go and you want to buy merchandise.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching it on Zoom, you can't buy the merchandise, but in this world, we'll have tables and you go and you just check out and say, hey, I want this, and it ships directly to you. So it's just amazing because it's like just like you're there. Am I on track?
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know if we're going to go there this year, but sometime in the next year, if you get hungry and you're like, oh my goodness, I am famished, but I really want to go over here and do this Quest game, you can go over to our food courts, and companies like Chick-fil-A that are connected with DoorDash, you could actually go into the restaurant, order your food,
and get it delivered.
And get it delivered to your house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and you know what too I can see happening too is because you're a subscriber, there'll be a media room filled with films, and you'll just walk up and say, click on Hercules, I want to see this today, or click on this, and you'll be able to view it. So I mean, if any of you guys have like Paramount or Apple TV and all these, and you pay a subscription for this and a subscription for this and a subscription for this, will they be able to view those movies or not because of the rights of the filmmakers?
Sure. So that it depends on how long their contract is, but this is what fascinated me about technology and how my brain works. So, because we love watching TV, right? That's two-dimensional. It's a flat screen. When you come into the virtual world, it turns into 3D. So remember when we used to have to wear like the 3D goggles to go watch ET or whatever it was, back in the day that was 3D. You actually get to watch it like yes, you're sitting on your couch at home, but you're immersed into the screen so much when you're 3D, and with the virtual goggles, you become 5D, where like it feels like it's weird, but you really do feel like you're there, even though you're not there.
And we haven't talked to Peggy about this yet, Deborah, you and me. But I'm going to just step out in faith by saying something that maybe is not true yet, so don't hold me accountable, anyone listening. But I'm going to just say, because I think just like you, I'm going to just say, if you guys sign up, today is the 6th. So if you sign up, let's say by the 15th, I'm going to say March 15th. So by March 15th, if you sign up, and Deborah's going to give me a link, and I'm going to put it in the YouTube channel so you can click on that link and sign up $300 between now and the 15th, okay? We're going to white label you, And for the second year, give you half off.
Okay, so I want to match you at that, okay?
We're
Because
gonna white label you.
So when you were talking earlier, I was like, oh, because Kevin asked me, he's like, Deb, why are people going to go into a metaverse to see me? I was like, because you're Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
Like, so humble and gracious. So anybody that signs up and takes advantage of what Jill said, not only will you get white labeled, so I will actually be on the virtual platform during the festival. So people that are there physically may or may not see me very much. I'm going to go grab Kevin and Sam at some point in time. And if you go ahead and sign up, I'm going to set you up with a 15-minute window in a privatized room where it's just me and you guys and Kevin and Sam, maybe Doc Johnston, and you guys get 15 minutes of quality time to just talk with them and learn from them and just say, hey, I would really like an autographed picture of Hercules or whatever. So that I'm going to give that to your first 15 people.
So
Okay.
the first 15 people, you have till now to the 15th to get that special time with Kevin and Sam.
Correct.
Okay. And then what about the year 2 of Meta? What are we going to do for that? You like the white label idea?
I do, yes.
I like the white label. And for those who don't know what white label means, that means you came from the ground entry into this introduction into metaverse. And so you spend your $300, and if you love it, and then second year you go, I just want to do more. Instead of being $300 and the price maybe jumps to $500, we're going to work out something for you for year 2. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but actually, let's come up with something now, because we want to encourage you to get in now. As an ambassador, you're going to come in, and you're going to be white labeled in as our first people to be in in Deborah's world, like Waters' world. Jesse,
Wayne's world.
Well, I like Jesse Waters too. And he's like, do you know where you are? No, you're in my world. This is Jesse. Okay. So you're in Deborah's world. Yeah.
Peggy, don't listen. Close your ears. Don't listen. I am going to do, so first year's $300, right? Second year, no matter if the price goes up or not, we are going to give it to you for 50% off. So it'll be $150 renewal if you had a great experience, and we will grandfather you in at that rate. So if you're like, hey, I had a great time, I want to do it again, but maybe life changes for you third year and you can't make it, you will forever be on my database as a white label. So no matter so in other words, in March, we're going to be like, hey, your annual renewal is coming up. Did you want to take advantage of it? You will forever be locked in at that $150 price. Forever.
Okay. So we need to add one more layer to that. So this is important, everyone. Okay. Because this is going to take off like you don't even believe. And so to manage this better, we're going to say if you register today up till the 15th, $300, you'll be white labeled. And then you must sign up for year 2, 90 days before it expires, because we don't want it to be the last day and then we're trying to process everything. So 90 days before. So if it starts in April, January, February, March. So by February 21st, February, March, April, no.
Let's January. Do February 13th.
No, because we're going to start, everyone's going to begin on April 21st.
Okay.
Everyone will begin the day of the event, April 21st. So by January 21st, January, February, March, January 21st of 2023, if you're wanting to be renewed, it'll be only $150. So you can save up your money, but you do $300 now, January 21st, your second year, and every year thereafter, January 21st, it will be $150.
Love it.
Put that in writing and we'll sell that, because you guys want to be in this world.
Yes.
You do. Yeah, you
because
really
it's going to be a safe space where, like, you can go, some of the people, like for music concerts and stuff, you don't have to worry about hackers coming in and like groping your kids. Like, that's not even good. If it happens, like the cybersecurity we have sees those behaviors and you're out the door. I don't care if you paid $150 for your ticket. If you're bullying somebody or you're cursing somebody out or you're groping somebody, I love y'all, but that's not okay.
Yeah, this is a Christian universe. We want to make sure everybody knows this is a Christ-centered universe, and it's a place to have fellowship, connection, and just enjoy life together. What a great time now to enjoy life. So, Deborah, you have amazing stuff. We're going to type up today, Deborah. I know you're busy. These things on a flyer, whatever, and I will post that flyer underneath the video that we're doing so that people could just see, this is what I want, this is what I want. And let's make clickable links, so all they got to do is click to pay the $300, click to pay the $50, whatever we can do to make it clickable. That would be great. But let's make this happen, because we're on a time crunch, guys. And last but not least, how many seats are at the theater where the event is, so we know how many seats?
Sure. So there's 559 in the main theater. We do have access to an overflow next door of another 250. And I've already got, I think, a little over 100 and some sold. So the next couple of weeks, it's going to be pretty much half capacity. So if you want to be in that front part where you can kind of get up and close and personal with Kevin and Sam and Doc Johnston and some of those guys, you're going to want to get on it ASAP, because come the 1st of April, those seats are going to be gone.
Okay.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
They're not reserved seats. It's just an admission to get in, and you go in and you get a seat. Is that correct?
No, they're reserved seats for.
Oh, really? So as people buy, like the first 100 will be in the first few rows, so they'll have a set seat.
Yes, correct.
That's cool, because I got a VIP ticket, so I know.
You sure did.
Wow, I jumped on it, guys. You guys got to jump on this. This is going to be amazing. So,
and we do have handicap seats available as well,
but they're limited, right? Limited.
They are. I think there's 12 of them.
Okay, so get those right away if you are in a wheelchair or something like that, right?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to just show really quick again Deborah's bio, and this is the website again. She's got two websites. One is called studio222films.com, and the other one is bransonfilmfestival.com. So you'll see both of those, and the links will be up. And this has been so informative, Deborah. Thanks. We went a little over, I know, but there's so much to let people know about you guys.
Yes.
So we'll see you there. Be there or be square, as they say, right?
Yes. And if you are a friend of Jill's, tell security or Peggy, hey, I want to say hi to Deborah if you want to. It doesn't matter to me either way. I want to make myself available to your friends, Jill. And thank them for coming.
And I'll have a podcast table there as well, you guys. So stop over, because we'll be doing interviews, and you can just come in, and we'll be definitely interviewing people, and it should be a lot of fun. So thanks again, Deborah. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.